Hi everybody, I wanted to show you how to draw a hummingbird sitting in its nest. I did this little example where I drew a tiny bird sitting in the nest, and then it has a couple leaves and berries on the side. You could, with your art piece, when you're done, add whatever else you want to do. You could add more flowers, maybe there's some other insects flying around. So you have tons of opportunities to make this a really, really cool picture. So now quickly the drawing of this. I have here the drawing, and then my 5 little lines that we've discussed before. So for me to draw this art piece, all I'm doing is I'm going to look if I can see one of these lines, and I'm going to connect them. So remember, the first one is a dot, circle, straight line, curved line, angle line, and these 5 lines make up everything that you want to draw. So this entire art piece is made up out of these 5 lines. So essentially I could actually take this picture, put it upside down, and still be able to draw this bird. I'm not focused on the bird, I'm only focused on the lines that make up this bird. So for example, if we look quickly, if I start to draw my eye first, the very first thing I'm putting on my paper is the dot. And then, let me zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. For me to draw my beak, I have a tiny straight line and another straight line, or you could actually say it's an angle line. Then I have a straight line that goes up, another one that guides it, and the top line. This right here for the chest is a curved line in, curved line out. Looks like a slight letter S. The top of the head is curved. This is curved. This part is also curved. I wiggled it, but it is also curved. There's a tiny straight line right here. It curves up. So essentially, if I'm looking at this drawing, it's made up out of a ton of different curved lines, the entire art piece. You have a few tiny straight lines. Maybe I have some circles right here that would actually look quite cool. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at these lines, we're going to copy them, write what I see here, and come up with our own. So only thing you need, pencil or Sharpie. You can draw it in pencil first and then trace over it in Sharpie. I think I'm going to do it with Sharpie first, or with Sharpie, so you can see it a little better. So if I look at my drawing, what I'm going to do first is draw the dot somewhere on my paper. And I know it's a tiny bird, so I'm going to make the dot not very big. And wherever, you can put your dot wherever you want. It doesn't have to be, I'm actually going to take my paper this way, horizontal. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my dot right here. Tiny dot. Let me see if I can go a little bit closer. You guys can see it. Yep, okay. Okay, next is this tiny angle line. It's right here, or it's straight line and a straight line. Pretty close actually to the eye. So right here, straight line, like that. I'm going to do this a tiny bit bigger. Next comes the straight line that goes up for my beak. If you want the beak to go straight, you can have it go straight. Mine is going to be a little diagonal. I'm going to do that. Looks almost like an arrow that is pointing towards your eye. Now I'm going to use the bottom line and make it touch the top. Make it touch the top. Next logical line for me is the chest line right here, and it's very short. And remember, it's the slight S line, curves in, curves down, but out, but it's kind of going straight. So right here, I'm going to curve in, curve out like that. Next for me, this is also however you think you want to draw this. I'm going to draw this curved line on the top part of the head. Now it doesn't, if you look at this curved line, it's very kind of flat and then it curves out. It doesn't go up and then curve. And as far as how wide I'm going to make this, I think I'm going to place a tiny dot, maybe about right there. Okay, so now all I'm going to do right here is I'm going to curve out and go down like this. So see how the head is a little bit more straight going down, where this is a little more diagonal? Does that matter? Nope. So now I'm going to draw this curved line right here, and I'm going to make it look like as if there's some feathers right here. And I'm going to curve this. Yep. Design, I'm gonna right here just draw a curved line that goes over the head or over the eye of my bird, like that. Let's maybe do some decoration designs right here in the facial part of your bird. I like these circles, but this is completely up to you. And I also like sometimes they have lines like that. Maybe like that. Okay, so now let's look at the other lines that I have right here. One is this curved line for the top part of the nest. It is also the line, the bottom line of my actual wing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw the nest, and look at where it stops. There's a little bit of a gap. I'm not going to go super far because this is a tiny bird. And remember, your finger is also your friend. You can sometimes draw lines with your finger and then make a mark. And usually if you draw something with your finger, you do it after, you do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to curve. I think I'm going to put my dot right here. So this is where I'm going to end up with my curved line for the top part of the nest. And another thing, I'm going to make this a little wiggly because it's the nest material right there. So it's not perfect. Before I finish the bird, I'm going to actually quickly focus on the nest. And the nest, same thing, I'm going to curve down, and then I'm going to just basically do the bottom like this here. See that? Curve down, and then curve the bottom. And it's nest material, so however, you can draw your nest a little different if you want to. It's like that. Okay, so now what's missing is the body part, all this right here. And what I actually see here, see this line that I drew for the curved line that goes over the eye? It extends and then goes up to finish my fin, or basically turns it into a fin. So I'm gonna start right here. I think I'm gonna draw the back feather. So I'm gonna go up, curve, and I'm going to draw my line to go right in here, like there. From my head right here, I have a diagonal straight line, and well, I went a little bit too low. I don't like how low it is, so I'm going to go a little higher, but I'm going to draw a diagonal straight line right here. So now I added another parallel line that just goes up, kind of right here, go up, and then maybe right here there's another fin that you might have at the bottom. So now I could decorate a couple things right in here if I wanted to. Maybe, I have no idea, maybe there are some feather lines or some, I'm going to curve this right here. I'm going to make some design lines. like that. Don't really know if they really look like that. I'm gonna add some tiny lines right here. Just a couple things. Your nest, if you want to, you could add some designs. I'm gonna add some you could get really creative with how you actually draw your nest. I'm going to add more lines at the bottom, just make it a little bit darker. Right here, this also tiny bit. Okay, so now my bird needs, and you know what, this is a little too flat. I'm gonna make this a little higher right here. See that? You could add things in it. You wouldn't even know. So now let's add some branches. And branches, when you draw branches, here's a couple examples. In this example, I made it look like as if there's a big branch and it splits off. It goes towards the bottom, and then you have another one that goes kind of behind it. So let's do that. Let's draw the one in the back right here. And if you draw a branch, it actually looks a little more realistic if you add more straight line, make it look a little more angled than curved. Because if you make it curved, it looks like noodles for your branch instead of a branch. So I could leave it like this. It doesn't have to have leaves on it, but I like leaves. So I'm gonna just, when I draw leaves, I add my line for my leaf, the center line, and then you can curve it however you want. That's a leaf. I mean, you could be super creative, a little different, like that. You could add flowers. You could also, if you want to, I'm gonna add some of these veins in there. There. So now, oops, I'm sorry, you didn't see it when I was drawing it. Let's extend the branch coming off or coming from the side of my paper. So I have to attach the nest to the branch, and I'm gonna split it off. That's why I'm gonna start a little bigger. I'm gonna have one get off right here, right there. So this sits right here. You can now add color, and I'm gonna do it, I'm going to add my colors with colored pencil and markers and colored pencils. All right, I think he's done. I hope you guys had a fun time watching. Bye.